Broadcasting live from the Inventors Fair on the plain of Kaladesh, this is Tap Tap Concede. Welcome everybody,
Hey.
Tap Tap Concede. Back after PAX.
Woo, PAX.
There was a lot of magic happenings
There's a
Yeah.
tremendous amount of magic happening at PAX.
at that
It's
show.
kind of insane.
Yeah.
They took that feedback on board from last year that there wasn't enough space for people to play the game.
Yeah, I didn't
And
hear
they-
any. I assume it was good this year.
I didn't hear
there
any
was,
complaints.
I mean, there was still not. It didn't seem like a tremendous. Like it. I know they've had more space in previous years, but I didn't hear anybody come up and be like, "Man, I want to play Magic, but there's not enough room."
Yeah,
So
last
that's
year
good.
was a
Yeah.
very small amount, but this year was pretty sweet. And the,
Yeah.
the Paramount Theater looked amazing.
Yeah.
And it was
Street Fair was super kick-ass, and yeah, they did a really good job.
Yeah. And we got Kaladesh spoilers, which is what we're going to be talking about today. But first, because it was PAX, got a bunch of new packs for Crack a Pack. But today we're not rolling the dice. We have something really cool that we're going to open after we take our punishment in the form of this pack of Tierras Natales, which is Spanish Homelands. Un juego de Richard Garfield, Magic El Encuentro. They don't translate The Gathering anymore.
No,
It's Magic the Gathering in
yeah.
every language.
Yeah.
So that's interesting.
back in the day.
I guess we're hoping for like a mental lapse.
All right,
Yeah, I'm not going to read you the flavor text because
please don't.
oculto durante.
Please let's
All right.
just get through this.
Yeah.
Dear God.
Well, the best part is we won't know how bad some of the cards are because we won't be able to read them.
Yeah.
Except that we'll
I mean,
have
This is a 2/2
we
for
could
4.
just
That's all right.
We could just ignore the translation and go primarily based on
art.
art and their power and
Numbers.
toughness, and I guess
Yeah.
their CMC.
Oh,
Yeah.
Things
this,
that we can easily.
this one, actually, both these packs today don't actually have names written on them.
Nope.
This was given to us by an enforcer. Or
Yes.
given to you by an enforcer in the Sheraton lobby.
Correct. I don't
And it
know
was
their
quick,
name.
and the name didn't get written down.
Yeah, so I didn't
apologies.
have my pen.
All right. Oh, I know this one. This is
Ghost Hounds.
Ghost Hounds. I thought it was Phantasmal Hounds. No, it's just Ghost Hounds.
So 1 in the black for a 1/1. Okay, that's already crap. Summon Hounds. Attacking does not cause Ghost Hounds to tap, so it has vigilance.
Invocar Sabuesos.
If assigned to block any white creatures or any white creatures... Wait, what? If assigned to block any white creatures or any white creatures are assigned to block it, Ghost Hound gains first strike until end of turn. What? You know what's lamer than a 1/1? It's a 1/1 with first strike.
Yeah, but then you put madcap skills on it.
Conditional first strike.
Oh.
Conditional first strike on a 1/1 does not feel good.
Half the
Yeah.
pack is upside down.
Like
They-
one
Because I think
and
that
a
that's the
black.
rare.
I don't know.
Whatever.
Anyways, this card is garbage trash. Next.
It's a big old gargoyle.
Abbey Gargoyle. Abbey Gargoyles. 2 white for a 3/4 flying protection from red.
Gargolas de la Abadia.
Actually, that's almost playable. It's hard to cast,
It's
but it's got a
really
relevant
hard-
body in the air.
Like if that was 3 white, I'd play it. But 2 white seems harsh.
Judging from what I know of Homelands, this is first pickable.
Yeah, this probably is very, very.
I think
good.
we've opened Abbey Gargoyle in a pack of Homelands before and determined that it was the first pick.
It seems like it's probably really good.
The rest of the pack was upside down for some reason. I don't know why.
All right, what do we got?
Arides. Arides. It's desert. What is it? It's like
Doesn't like
it's
it.
a conjuro. La Arides hase 1 punto de dano a cada criatura igual.
Collector number?
Oh yeah, collector number doesn't have collector numbers. There's no collector number.
Okay. Describe the art to Paul.
It's a skull in the sand.
I can see that, like, I know what...
Yeah, because he can
Oh, yeah,
see it.
'cause
He can see it on the
cam.
camera. It's just not recognizing it for some reason.
I mean, we could probably just move along and know that it's not very good.
So it's 1 in a black for I believe it's sorcery. It's
Okay.
Conjuro, and it deals 1 damage to each creature. 1 damage to each creature and each player. I believe a Jugador is the player.
that doesn't seem terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, it kills that that first card, that 1/1,
Yeah.
It sure does.
which seems good.
Is it like Sandblast? No, that was a newer card.
It's like Dry Spell or something. It's
oh, okay.
I can't remember.
Drought?
I checked dry. It's not dry spell.
No.
Dry spell is in the set though.
Oh well, hey.
There you go. Dry spell.
Right.
Oh,
yeah, no,
that's
no,
that
that's
is
Alt
this.
Art.
It's
that-
Alt Art.
It's it's
That,
Alt Art.
that is this card. It is Dry Spell.
Yeah.
Wow, got it. All right, cool.
Nice,
Yeah,
nice,
so one
nice.
damage to each creature. Yeah, and player.
Yep. All right.
Man, I'm gonna start calling myself a Jugador from now on. Or is it a soft J? Is it a Yugador?
It's probably soft.
No,
J,
it would be
isn't it?
in Spanish. Aren't J's H's?
That's
Hugador.
Hugador.
I like it.
the reason
Yugador.
why it does not. It's not recognizing
Oh,
it.
because
Is,
it only it's
no, it's that art isn't in Gatherer.
Oh.
Weird.
Like it says it has two art. Like it says it has two versions, but in Gatherer both versions are the dead fish.
wow.
Oh.
Interesting.
Okay, well that explains a lot.
All right. What do we got next?
Oh, this one I
Lee?
know. Hurones de Joven. It's Joven's ferrets.
Yep. It's a 1/1 for 1 green. If declared as if declared as an attacker, the ferrets get O+2 until end of turn. At end of combat, tap any creatures that blocked the ferrets. Those creatures do not untap during their controller's next untap phase.
This is a.
What the?
Joven's ferrets is not a good card.
No, this
No.
is bad, and the art's
By
kind
the
of
way, I
terrible.
I
and-
apologize a little for my accent because I don't know what I'm doing.
All right, what do we got next? This is bad.
I feel like Joven's one of those guys that he like goes around with like a ferret on his shoulder all the time,
Yeah.
just to be kind of cool
It is,
and different.
on the Spanish card. It is actually Joven with a Y.
Ah, there you go.
Which is
Yes.
interesting.
All right.
So, because otherwise this would be Hoven's ferrets.
Yes.
Which would just be awkward.
Chaman de Anaba.
Anaba Shaman, 3 and a red for a 2/2 Minotaur, and for 1 red and tap it, it deals 1 damage to target creature or player.
This card's so good.
Yeah, that seems
actually
that
quite
seems
good.
like legit for a spectacle.
When we did
here.
that Homelands draft at PAX East like a year ago,
Yeah.
I had 3 of these, and it
Yeah.
was just stone cold
It's a-
unbeatable.
When,
it's a 2/2 pinger. That
Yeah,
seems fine.
when Theros was in Standard, this or like when Theros was around, that this was like Minotaurs were relevant subtype again.
Yep.
All right.
Puerta del Cementerio.
Cemetery.
Puerta del it's a wall.
Cemetery. Gate.
Cemetery Gate or whatever it's called. And it's also not. This might be the same
same
art
thing.
problem.
Yeah.
What do we got?
It's a 0/5 for 2 and a black with Protección contra Negro. Cemetery Gate. There it is. Summon wall.
Protection.
Except
Okay.
that is the art that I have, so I don't
Weird.
get it.
All right.
Wait, the perfect place for a picnic. Okay, cool. Because the el sitio perfecto para un picnic.
I mean, you would play this in a control deck, right?
I mean, yeah, but it's still not great.
No, it doesn't do anything,
right.
right?
Cam, can you guess this one? Piratas de los Arrecifes.
Parrots of Aratif.
Arrecifes? I don't know. Reef pirates,
Oh, reef pirates.
obviously.
Wait, that's not
Piratos.
right.
That's an Anaba shaman again.
This is why
Piratas
we
de los-
shouldn't be opening Homelands. It confuses our poor card.
That's also
recognizer.
not.
No.
I mean, that might be a reprint.
No, that it is that card, but
It's
it's
not that version. 'cause
Yeah.
it'd be
There we
black border.
go.
No,
There.
it's still not that version.
Which one is it?
It's
Oh, it's the one, but the actual.
It's the one with an
pirate.
actual picture of a pirate on it, as
Yeah.
opposed to summon ships.
Anyways,
Not in Gatherer.
1 blue for a 2/2. Whenever it deals damage to an opponent, take the top card of his or her library and put it into their into his or her
Roba la carta superior.
Yeah.
De su biblioteca.
And in keeping with the new world order for creature types, this is in fact a zombie pirate now. It's not
Oh.
because
Yeah.
ship is
Yeah.
not a creature type anymore.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Although in Kaladesh,
Now
this
they
could
have
now be a vehicle. Yeah,
Yeah.
Rum, rum,
Yeah,
rum.
no, it's not.
it's not though.
Yeah. All right, last card. Thank God.
Comerciante enano. It's Dwarven merchant, I think.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a 1/1 for 1.
Yay.
Spoilers.
More terrible creatures.
It's pretty bad. Invocar enano.
Trades with Mon's Goblin Raiders.
Enano?
This is Mons Goblin Raider 5 through 8 in your deck.
Yeah, pretty much. If you ever want to run 4 more Mons Goblin Raiders, here you go.
Okay.
Hey, but now, speaking of dwarves,
Yeah.
Yeah, dwarves are back.
Relevant
they're
subtype.
back in Kaladesh. There's
That's
a dwarf lord.
That's exciting.
All your dwarves get +1/+1. This is a 2/2 for 1 now.
Not that. It's that
It
card.
is
Yeah.
Dwarven Trader, yeah, but it's not that art, but it doesn't matter.
Okay, so
That was terrible.
I'm pretty sure it's the flyer.
Yeah,
right?
the 3/4 flyer.
The
Was
3/4.
the Abbey Gargoyle?
Yeah, it's it's either
exactly
that.
the Inaba Shaman.
Yeah, that or the pinger, but the 3/4. I just don't think anybody can beat a 3/4 flyer.
Unless that was a common, and they're just floating around, and you both resolve one.
Yeah, I guess that's fair.
I mean,
but
the rarity wasn't really, I don't know.
yeah, I mean, it was a thing, but it wasn't marked. Anyways, let's please move the hell on.
All right.
Yeah.
So
To
that was
something
was
cool.
only 8 cards, but we have another 8 cards
But,
now.
by the way, Ghost Hounds was the rare in that.
Oh.
What?
Well, it was the uncommon, but that's
as far as they go,
As far
yeah.
as everything else
Well,
is a common.
Does have 2 keywords.
Conditionally.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, the Abbey Gargoyle was also an uncommon.
Yeah.
Huh.
It was two
Rarity,
uncommons.
rarity
and
is really
they were the
weird.
2 that were the other way up.
Rarity is weird in Homelands.
Anyway, we also have, and I believe this was dropped off at our booth, but again, the name, we didn't write a name down, and I feel really bad about it, because this is a pack of Antiquities,
Dang.
Yeah.
We got some good stuff at PAX.
which are not
this
Yeah.
year.
The,
cheap packs of Antiquities. Oh, here it is.
Oh.
Oh, it's written, it was under the flap. That's why. That's why we couldn't see it. This is from IMAT. This is from Christian.
Oh, wow.
Hey.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, that makes way more sense. I was like, because you can see it's not written down, but suddenly, da 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 da. I saw this X, because the packs. This was the problem with early booster packs, is that the wrapper was kind of translucent, so you could like kind of
See what was in it?
see what was in them. So it's hard to be like really convinced that your pack isn't messed with. And I was like, what's that? And I flipped the thing up, and oh, there's a name right there. So there we are.
All right.
Long ago, 2 wizards battled for control of Dominaria. Now Antiquities unearths the relics of this ancient rivalry. Over 75 artifacts and spells that shape the 5 magics and alter Dominaria forever.
I think you'll find that artifacts are spells.
Stash a few
yeah.
Antiquities in your deck and unleash the power of the past, Cam.
All right. So what are we looking for, Cam?
Mishra's Factory,
Okay.
Candelabra of Tanos.
Okay.
Workshop?
Workshop, yes.
Right.
Sorry. I mean, there's also like cards that still see play in here, like Hercule's Recall and the Tron cards.
They're both.
They're both backwards.
All right. So I think the split is okay. So I'm gonna go like this. Okay.
All right.
Because I know that these are common. All right. First up is Argothian Tree Folk.
Oh, I remember these guys.
Yeah. All right. Paul's gonna get it. Good for Antiquities. All right. Argothian Tree Folk is a 3 green for a 3/5. And any with protection from artifacts, I guess. Well, any damage Argothian Tree Folk takes from an artifact source is reduced to 0. Have they just retconned that to be protection from artifacts? Because there's things that artifacts can't do that. No.
Yeah, no, 'cause-
Prevent all damage that would be dealt to him by
By
artifacts.
artifacts.
Yeah, because they can still be targeted by
Yeah.
artifacts and blocked by artifacts.
Next, Priest of Yawgmoth.
That's a whole lot of text.
Yeah, you
for
can
one
tell Antiquities has, I think, the most number of cards with little teeny weeny text.
ship. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a 1/2 for 1 and a black. Tap to add an amount of black mana equal to target artifact's casting cost to your mana pool. This effect is played as an interrupt. Target artifact, which must belong to you, is discarded. This artifact,
Want me to just tell you what because the Oracle text is super short.
please.
Tap, sacrifice an artifact, add to your mana pool an amount of black equal to the sacrificed artifact's converted mana cost.
Well, that makes way more sense.
I was honestly not sure what this card did until you said that. So
This
thank you.
artifact cannot be one that is already on the way to the graveyard.
Okay.
Hey, where are you going? I'm on the way to the graveyard.
I would like to sack you. So theoretically, this is an artifact.
Yeah.
So you could,
Yeah.
we could sack
this is
this
you
for 2 black.
We can
right?
sacrifice Battering Ram, which is a 1/1 for 2 artifact creature. Bans, but only when attacking. Any wall blocking Battering Ram is destroyed. Walls destroyed this way deal their damage before dying. I mean, yes.
Yeah.
So, okay. So it doesn't have it. Just wants to make sure that you know it doesn't have first strike.
Yeah, sets at this point were really big on unnecessary. It's like this thing dies. It doesn't die just a little bit.
Yeah.
You can't do something with it on its way to the graveyard. It's dead. Like every other card that dies is.
Okay.
Oh man.
Next.
Artifact possession.
Okay.
2 and a black for enchant artifact.
Okay.
Artifact possession deals 2 damage to target artifact's controller each time target artifact is tapped or its activation cost is paid. Has no effect if cast on a continuous artifact.
This doesn't seem terrible. Like, it's
well,
not good.
It's not worth a card.
I feel like it's...
But artifact.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like it's more playable than the other 3 cards before it. At least it does something, sort of. Not really.
I like that that the continuous in the gatherer for the Oracle text, the continuous artifact clause is just gone.
Yeah.
Because there's no...
There's no such. Well, they don't need to differentiate between them anymore.
Yeah.
They used to have mono artifacts and continuous artifacts, and it depended on whether they tapped or not.
Yeah, continuous artifact was one that just had an ability. Mono artifact had to be tapped to do it.
Tapped or activated.
Yeah.
And now, they
with
just say
artifact.
They just say artifact, and if it needs to be tapped, there's a tap symbol. on it.
Yeah.
So Amulet of Krug is you can pay 2 to prevent 1 damage to any target.
So if
bad.
you enchant this with that last card, then they could activate this and only take 1 damage.
No, because then they would have to have... They would be taking 1 damage already. Can we just say that this has really nice Margaret Organ Keen art?
It does have very nice art.
I really like her stuff with all like the tile work.
You know how we're going to protect ourselves from all these artifacts?
Not playing Antiquities?
No, this booster has a second Argothian tree folk.
Good.
Holy crap, only 8 cards and 2 of them are Argothian tree folk.
20, wait.
Holy crap. That's awful.
Okay.
Hey, speaking of Margaret Organ Keen with some cool tile work, it's Martyrs of Corliss.
Oh.
3 white for a 1/6 bodyguard. Unless Martyrs of Corliss is tapped, any damage done to you by artifacts is instead applied to Martyrs of Corliss. You may not take this damage yourself, though you may prevent it if possible. No more than 1 bodyguard of your choice can take damage for you in this manner each turn.
How did I play this game as a child?
I don't know.
Like, there's no...
All that I can't the Oracle
comprehend
text
this
is
now.
exactly the same, but just without the clarification text.
But like...
It's like, wait, we didn't need that.
Yeah. Oh my
Like-
god.
Also,
I
it's
wonder if-
now creature type human, not creature type bodyguard.
Okay, like,
That's fair.
because Children of Corliss were in Time Spiral, right? Who is Corliss? What was Corliss?
I don't
I don't
know.
know. All right.
Okay.
All right, last card.
Is
last card.
Is it good? It's probably not that good, is it?
It's an artifact.
Okay.
It's not great. It's a Tetravus. It's a
Strictly worse than
1 for
Pentavus.
6.
It's a 1/1 for 6.
I love this card.
Flying. Tetravus gets 3 +1/+1 counters when cast.
So it's a 4/4 for 6.
All right, take a seat. During your upkeep, you may move each one of these counters on or off of Tetravus. Counters moved off of Tetravus become independent 1/1 flying artifact creatures. If such a creature dies, the counter is removed from play. Such creatures may not have enchantments cast on them, and they do not share any enchantments on Tetravus. What?
I don't understand what that last bit means. But this card does actually seem kind of legit. Like, 6 mana for 4 1/1 flyers.
Well, 6 mana for a 4/4 flyer.
Yeah.
And then
But then you could break them off into individuals.
you just get 4 1/1s.
That's-
Yeah.
But you
Well, I
can't
mean,
put
like,
them back.
This was like Pentavus, right?
Yeah.
Only
This
one
is-
less.
This is pre-Pentavus.
Yeah.
What is the Oracle text on this card?
It's still quite long. It doesn't have all the stuff about the enchantment thing, though.
Because that's just, that they just eliminated that. Because
it's like, well, yeah.
it would have to have a. It would have to be like make a 1/1 token that says this can't be enchanted,
Yeah.
which is stupid. But I mean, a lot of this is stupid.
Oh, no, yeah, it does actually say that.
Really?
Yeah, so at the beginning of your upkeep, you may remove any number of +1/+1 counters from Tetravus. If you do that many +1/+1 color, or that many 1/1 colors, Tetravite artifact creature tokens are put on the battlefield. They have flying, and this creature cannot be enchanted.
Huh.
At the
Okay.
beginning of your
I'm
upkeep,
amazed they kept that.
At the beginning of your upkeep, you may exile any number of tokens put on the battlefield with Tetravus. if you do put that many +1/+1 counters on Tetravus.
That's not on the card.
During your upkeep, you
It says you
On
can move
or
the
off.
counters on or off Tetravus.
I assume the
Oh.
counters. When
Yeah,
they're
that's
off
what they-
Tetravus-
yeah.
Right, counters moved off Tetravus become 1/1 flying creatures, but it doesn't explicitly say that when they go back on, they turn back into +1/+1
Right.
counters.
So you
And
can.
it doesn't have the thing about like enchantments on Tetravus don't apply to the
Well, because that's
counters
just
that
covered
come
by
off.
the rules of the game.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
okay.
Okay.
Wow.
This card seems kind of cool.
Yeah.
I'd first pick this card for sure.
Like,
It
I
can
wonder
beat
if
every
they,
other card here.
when they reprinted or when they printed Pentavus, right? Did they initially just be like, we should reprint this card? I remember it from when I was a kid, and they're like, it's not quite good enough. Well,
Wait.
can we just roll it up one?
Love
This
it.
is
Perfect.
actually, I mean, in transitioning into our main topic, this is like the +1/+1 counters or 1/1 creatures.
Oh, yeah,
is
holy
actually
crap.
a mechanic, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised that they actually. I mean, I guess they basically do have these kind of things. I mean, they don't have this exact creature, but they have creatures that are very similar to this in Kaladesh.
So
Yeah, so
this
there's
thing has an early version of what's it called?
Fabricate?
Fabricate, yeah.
kinda. Well,
Sort
here,
of.
let
I
me-
mean,
Except Fabricate, you can't change.
yeah.
And
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
servos, not thopters.
yeah,
yeah.
let me pull up a card with.
It's definitely not
So
the
it's
same.
totally different, James.
But it's kind of the same. It's basically
yeah,
the same.
it's a similar. It's similar in spirit.
yeah.
Yeah.
Let me pull up a card with Fabricate. Here we go. Let's just look at Propeller Pioneer. Why not? This is one of the spoilers on Mythic Spoiler. It's the bottom of the white column currently, Paul. So Propeller Pioneer is a 2/1 for 3 and a white with flying, and Fabricate 1.
Okay.
And what Fabricate 1 means is that when it comes into play, you can either put a +1/+1 counter on the creature or make a 1/1 servo.
Yeah.
And this particular one is not great, to be honest. But much like Sandstep Outcast in Khan's block,
Yeah.
I think you are almost always supposed to make the 1/1 on creatures with Fabricate.
See,
I
but like
think
unlike Sandstep Outcast, this body has flying and the token does not.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of advantage to having
Like
artifacts.
Yes. Yeah.
It's
'Cause
true.
The 1/1s are artifacts.
Yeah.
I mean, this definitely depends on what kind of deck you're playing it in. Like, I can easily see, like, this card more than
This
some
one's-
of the
this
other
one's not very
Fabricate.
good.
Well, yeah, but I
Glint's-
mean, it's still a 3/2. Like, it could still be a 3/2 flyer for 4, which is I'm okay with playing it. Like,
Yeah.
it's not terrible, but this is actually one of the Fabricate cards where I could actually see either or when it comes to choosing the Fabricate. Whereas some of the other ones are just like, yeah, I just want that 1/1 depending on the deck, or I just
I
want that
loved
+1/+1.
when we ran into Matt Tabak at the Inventors Fair or the Street Fair, and we're like, we have a question about Fabricate, and he was just like, no, it doesn't work like that. And we were like,
I was like, I actually have a different question. Yeah.
but he had been clearly answering the same question about Fabricate the entire weekend.
Yeah, because
which
my question was about Fabricate 2,
Yeah.
which was it's
Well,
two, it's
yeah.
2 counters, or and then my question was, is it 2 1/1s or a 2/2?
Yeah, because it isn't clear from this reminder text.
Yeah, but it turns out because the only thing that had been released at that point was the preview for Cultivator of Blades, or
Yeah.
like the preview of the promo
Yeah.
for Cultivator of Blades, which didn't have the reminder text. It
Yeah.
just said Fabricate 2. So the actual reminder text on the real version of that card says when it enters the battlefield, put 2 +1/+1 counters on it, or create 2 1/1 servos. What he was answering was, can you do 1 counter on the creature and 1 servo? And you can't. You choose one or the other.
I hadn't
Yeah.
seen that card.
Oh, you haven't seen Angel
Yeah.
of Invention?
My God.
So yeah, a 2/1 for 5. Well, that's garbage. Oh, but it has flying, lifelink, vigilance, other creatures you control get +1/+1, and Fabricate 2.
Why would you ever make the servos with this thing?
Because they're two
Because
twos.
they're 2/2s.
I guess.
Also-
but-
So yeah, that's
Also-
actually really interesting because you
Yeah.
either use them for the +1/+1 from the
Yeah, you get a Baneslayer, or you get a pair of 2/2s on the ground.
Yeah.
Man, this card's sweet.
Yeah, Angels of Invention's very good.
And then there's like this dude.
Yeah.
Master Trinketeer.
Yeah,
Is this one?
the- this is
Servos
the-
and Thopters get...
Yeah, Servo and Thopter Lord.
Oh, snap. That seems really good. So, sorry, Master Trinketeer, I'm only just seeing this card for the first time, is a 3/2 Dwarf Artificer for 2 and a white. Servos and Thopters you control get +1/+1, and for 3 and a white, create a 1/1 servo.
I don't think you could find a better first pick, honestly. Like,
Yeah.
this is
Oh, you're gonna get to have fun with this
stupidly
one.
good.
Yeah.
It's a lord, it's a good body, and it's a mana sink. Like, this card
Can-
literally does everything.
Can I also say how much I love how Fabricate meshes with the 3 of the cards that I want to talk about, which are the modules?
Please, let's talk about the modules.
Okay, like the modules are kind of like we've seen Wizards do this before in limited environments where they had like the was it M12 or M13 where they had the scepter, the throne, and the crown.
Yeah.
And in the following set they had the newt and the cauldron and
Oh, and the Witch.
the witch.
Yeah.
Bog Brew Witch. So now they've got animation module, decoction module, and fabrication module. Animation module is a rare. The other 2 are uncommons, I think.
I believe so, yeah.
And they all
Which one
like
first?
work with each other. Let's do animation module.
Okay.
It's the first one. It's a 1 mana artifact. Whenever 1 or more +1/+1 counters are placed on a permanent you control, you may pay 1 generic mana. If you do, create a 1/1 colorless servo artifact creature token. It has a second ability which reads, for 3 generic and tap, choose a counter on target permanent or player. Give that permanent or player another counter of that kind. Which is
All right.
Yeah.
It's like Proliferate.
Yeah.
It's not quite proliferate.
Not quite, no.
Yeah, it's not keyworded.
Well, because Proliferate was also that you could do, didn't you proliferate just everything?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
It was
anything that had a
everything
counter.
you chose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The second one is Decoction Module, which is a 2 mana artifact. Reading, whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, you get an energy counter.
Okay.
And then for 4 mana and tap, return target creature you control to its owner's hand. This one is probably the most straightforward, I guess. And then the final one is Fabrication Module, which for 3 mana reads, whenever you get 1 or more energy counters, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. And for 4 mana and tap, you get energy.
So
Okay.
what I love about this is that you can ignore the activated ability on all 3 of them. But if you control all 3 of them, I think you just put 1 mana into it. You start the machine.
Yeah.
And the machine never stops.
Yeah.
Right? Because, can we go back to animation module for a sec? So whenever a +1/+1 counter is put on a permanent you control, you pay 1 and you get a 1/1, right?
Yeah.
So you just have to start it somehow. So let's say that you start by putting a counter on it.
Yeah, well,
Right.
you use its activated ability to put a counter on something,
Yeah.
right?
Then you pay 1 and you get a 1/1.
Yes.
Then so a creature enters the battlefield, so you get an energy. So because you got an energy, you get to put a counter on something.
Yep.
So you put a counter on something and you pay 1 and you get a servo and you get an energy and you
Yeah.
get a counter, and it's just like you
You-
feed 1 generic
Yeah.
mana in every cycle and you just go.
Yeah. Like,
At least you do have to actually pay 1. It's not a
Yeah.
total infinite.
Oh,
combo.
yeah,
Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
you know, it's not a perpetual motion machine.
but I mean, you just look at this and like Powerhouse starts playing in your head.
Dun, 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 dun. Yeah.
But I love the way that this interacts with the Fabricate creatures because it works on both modes, right? A creature enters the battlefield,
Yep.
or a +1/+1 counter is placed on something. And with the Fabricate, greater than 1, you get multiple triggers.
Yeah.
So
That's pretty sweet.
yeah, I'm not sure they're powerful. Like in limited, I think if you assemble all 3 of these, it's going to be
That's pretty sweet.
It's going to be an uphill battle for your opponent to win the game.
Yeah,
Right.
but it's a pretty uphill battle for you to get to
yeah.
opening all 3 and then controlling all 3.
Yeah.
I want to build a very thematic commander deck with this and then Lux Cannon and
Yeah.
stuff, right? Like
Yeah, just the
charge
terrible
up-
machine.
Charge up the base cannon.
What?
Sweet.
I mean, this might be a good time to think. What do you think about energy as a mechanic?
Yeah, so energy, just briefly for people who aren't aware, this is a new mechanic coming to Kaladesh. This is the mythical mechanic E from Mirrodin
Yep.
that Mark Rosewater's been trying to make work for years, for literal years, because Mirrodin is a very old set, and it's mechanic E, not because it's the 5th mechanic, but because it's energy.
Apparently, it was actually in Alara up until right near the end.
Really?
And then they cut it.
Huh.
So like it's been.
I think it makes more sense here than Alara, but
it's been attempted to be put into a whole bunch of sets.
yeah, he's been trying for a while.
I mean, this could be adapted to any plane. It doesn't need to
Yeah.
be energy. It could be whatever. But yeah,
It's sort of like mana that doesn't go away.
Yeah.
Right? It's like another color of mana that doesn't go away. So
until you use it.
Until you use it. Like you get energy and you get this counter, this energy counter that presumably lives in the command zone like experience counters or whatever. And they just build up and they sit there and they don't empty at the end of your turn or at the end of your phase. They just sit there until you use them.
Yeah.
And you can use them for all kinds of things in the set. And I don't know, I mean, I think it's neat and different and interesting.
Yeah. Well, I especially like that they seem to be good in a control environment because it's a resource that you can spend that doesn't alter your ability to like hold up mana and respond to things.
Yeah.
And that's relevant for things like the Morphling analog, the 5 mana
There's a
artifact.
Morphling in the set?
No, it's not a Morphling. It's an artifact creature that's a 3/3 for 5 mana that has like a bunch of those abilities. Multiform Wonder.
Oh.
Right? It makes 3 energy when it enters the battlefield, and then you can pay 1 energy to give it Flying, Vigilance, or Lifelink until end of turn. And you can also pay energy to give it the Snapping Turtle thing, right?
Oh,
Like
+2, -2, or -2, +2.
Yeah.
So it's a 3/3 for 5 with all those abilities.
Yeah.
That's
like
really cool.
When you had Aetherling or Morphling, right, you needed to pump blue into it
Right.
to do things, which abraded your ability to like cast counter spells.
Right.
But here you can just have a much worse creature that isn't unblockable, but is still fairly useful.
Yeah.
Yep.
I like. Let's briefly talk about Live Fast and Die Young. So, because that also, from a flavor perspective, deals with the Aetherborn, which is a new race
yes.
of creatures centered in black, and they are sort of created from the Aether. Let's start with Live Fast, actually, and they have a very short half-life. They just don't live very long. So Live Fast is 2 and a black. You draw 2 cards, lose 2 life, and get 2 energy. So it costs you another mana than a Night's Whisper or a Signing Blood or whatever,
Right.
but you get 2 energy out of it.
Yeah.
And then, so I just think that's kind of interesting. And then Die Young is the sort of the flip side of this Aetherborn's life. And this card is so versatile. I think it'll be very, very strong and limited. It's a sorcery, but 1 and a black, you choose a creature. You get 2 energy, and then you can spend any number of energy, and the creature that you choose gets -1/-1 for each energy you put into it. So if you just take the 2 that it gives you and put them right back in, it's 2 mana for -2/-2 to a creature. That's going to be great. If you only have to kill an X1, then you cast it, you get 2 energy, you only put 1 back into it, you've killed a creature and you net an energy.
Yeah.
If you have to kill something bigger, and you've been building up energy over the game, you can give something, I don't know, -5/-5, even more than that. You can just put as much energy into this as you want.
See, like, the energy counters remind me a bit of clue tokens from Shadows, where it's not quite as good as getting, like, a mana, right? Whereas a clue token was not quite as good as drawing a card. But it seems to be a way of, like, subtly altering the power level of a card
Yeah.
so that you can get a powerful effect for, like, cheaper, or, sorry, for... They can print powerful cards at an appropriate mana cost, but you still get like the effect. Right?
Yeah. Like I mean, it's like a really, really simple one. Drown Yard Explorers, right? Is a 2/4 for 4 in blue. If it had been if it had said draw a card, that would actually be very good.
Yes.
Right? Because it's a 2/4, it's a good blocker, and it replaces itself in your hand. But you get a clue instead. So it's, yeah, like you say, like they can tweak the power level up slightly. It's better than just a 2/4 for 4, but it's not nearly as good as just getting to draw a card. So it gives them a lot more subtlety in how they can tweak the power level of things. And yeah, like you say, like I think I don't know why I picked Drown Yard Explorers on the top of my head, but
I think it's a good example of that, where if this didn't have that clause, you would be like,
You'd never be happy
Yeah.
playing it.
It's according to Rosewater. That was actually they were considering 3 different ways of doing energy. Either having it counters on the creature, or on the thing, having it counters that are on the player effectively, which is
Right.
what they ended up being, or like artifacts,
Like clues.
like clues.
oh,
But
okay.
the problem they had with that was, one, they had just done clues,
Yeah.
and 2, artifacts matter
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
the set, and so having
Look how
Like
many artifacts
an
I have.
energy-
having just a
artifact
bunch of
token, yeah.
dumb little artifacts would be very bad,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
It would have to be like a colorless
very abusable.
token that's not.
an
It would still be a
artifact.
permanent.
Yeah.
It'd be very strange.
All right, so what's the appropriate way to display your energy in a game?
I am really not looking forward to the person who shows up with a bag of chocolate-covered espresso beans for the pre-release, and it was like, energy.
I'll use
Yeah.
2 energy. I'll,
Yeah.
Entire
And
tall,
it's by the end of the day, they're just sitting there sweating and kind of not quite in phase with our timeline anymore.
What about an entire tall boy of Red Bull?
Yeah, just crushing a monster.
That would be
The one
amazing.
that looks like the uranium shell.
Maybe
Yeah.
just honestly bring a bunch of shot glasses, and then you just pour Red Bull and then just shoot them whenever you do that.
God.
That'd be
Like,
kind of
Your
amazing.
Can we
entire
do
pre-release
something-
starts
yeah.
smelling like cough syrup.
Yeah. And eventually
we should
urine
figure out something
after a
funny to
while.
do during the Kaladesh pre-release.
That's what that's
Yeah,
why I
yeah,
brought it
yeah,
up.
yeah.
I like some people online have pointed out that's the Pokemon use the energy
Oh,
cards.
yeah, yeah.
Which is pretty awesome. Honestly, just for
Is that still a Hasbro card game?
Pokemon, I don't think so. No, I don't think it is.
Oh, darn.
Yeah, that was Kaijudo.
Right.
Yeah, I would just say there's going to be a token.
Yeah.
Put the token in play. Yeah, there you go, and just put a dice on it. For God's
Yeah.
sakes, that's the way to do it.
Well, I mean, we had Phyrexian bucks, right, with infect
Yeah,
tokens.
that's true.
Or infect counters.
They're probably going to print energy.
Oh, I'm
and,
sure there's going to be
yeah.
energy tokens. I
and
personally,
every magic artist is going to produce
different,
their own energy
yeah.
token.
I would prefer it when people put dice. Like with clues, I hated when I would play against people who would use the clue tokens and they just kind of stacked them, so I had no idea
yeah.
how many clue tokens they had.
Oh
Yeah.
no, I always
So it's
spread
just
mine out, or at least overlay
put a
them.
dice on there.
Yeah.
That would be the way to go. I feel
Yeah.
like you
Yeah,
get
it's clear,
get a nice fancy
concise.
20 or something like that. And
Yeah.
just count it up, tick it down.
Can we get some of those? They come with Ascension, I think. Those crystals.
Oh
little,
yeah,
like, crystal
the crystals
counters?
are kind of cool.
yeah.
Can we get
rock candy?
Can we get some of that? Well, the problem with having anything that you can eat or drink
Yeah.
is that people will.
Yeah.
I mean, for the pre-release, I think we have to.
Yeah.
I like shot glasses of Red Bull.
Shot glasses of Red Bull.
It's it's going to be a long day.
No promises that that's what we're going to
Yeah.
end up
Also,
doing.
we'll talk
No,
about the pre-release at the
espresso,
end of the
right?
end of the show.
Just do espresso, and that way, you can both be just all sweaty, and you can actually hear on the microphones the sound of espresso and stomach acid eating through the bottom of your chair.
Oh, stop. Okay, let's talk about more
You can
cards.
hear your sternum vibrating.
What happens
Yeah.
when somebody does this one?
Architect of the Untamed.
Pay 8.
Which is 2 and a green for a 2/3.
Wow.
Elf Artificer Druid. When a land enters the battlefield, you get an energy, but you can pay 8 energy to create a 6/6 colorless beast artifact creature token. I love this card so much.
Well, you had better buckle up.
I do love the fact that just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
7.
Hey.
Practice good self-care at your pre-release.
6/6.
Do not do any of these things.
This card seems sweet, by the way.
I want to create a 6/6 creature token, but I kind of don't.
Yeah.
All right, I got a card that I want to talk about.
All right, please.
I believe it's called Dubious Challenge. Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
What is this card? So this was our spoiler card.
Yep.
We posted the video last night as of recording. Nobody understands this
Someone
card.
on the subreddit described us as low-key shitting on it.
Yeah.
I mean, kind of, but
Low key?
When Blake Rasmussen sent us the card, he was like, "Look, I don't really know what to make of this, but I'm not the one who has to make a video of it, so here you go."
Yeah,
So
enjoy.
and I was like, and he's like, "Here's the date for the spoiler and everything.
Yeah.
Let me know that you've received it." And I got back to him. I was like, "Yep, got it received, ready to go up for the 9th."
The card's all
Absolutely.
garbled though because this doesn't make any sense. Could you please send again?
Well, yeah, I was like, "That's cool. Everything's great." Sorry, what though? And he was like, "I don't know, man. I don't know."
So Dubious Challenge is 3 and a green for sorcery.
yeah.
And buckle in here. Look at the top 10 cards of your library.
Okay.
All right. Exile up to 2 creature cards from among them. Then shuffle your library. Okay.
Okay.
Target opponent may choose one of the exiled cards and put it onto their battlefield under his or her control. Put the rest onto the battlefield under your control.
So
Target opponent may choose.
So the wording there is you can look at the top 10 cards of your library and pick nothing.
Yep.
You can look at the top 10 and pick one creature, and then your opponent can choose to take it.
They don't have to.
And if they do, they get it, and then you get nothing, and if they don't, then you get it. Or you can pick 2 creatures, they get first choice, or they can take nothing. If they take nothing, you get both creatures. If they take one, you get the one they don't pick. This is like, now granted, people have come up with some edge cases
Yeah.
Yep.
as
Well, I mean,
to
like
ways you could make this work.
the interesting one is
se-
like Emrakul the Aeon's Torn and Flicker Wisp or Glimmer Point Stag.
Secret tech.
Brooding Saurian.
At the beginning, so 2 green for a 4/4 lizard. At the beginning of each end step, each player gains control of all non-token permanents he or she owns.
Boom.
So you'd get
Okay.
2 Brooding Saurians.
No, you only need one.
Yeah, you don't
Yeah.
even have to reveal this
If,
with it.
if either person has it, it just happens.
Okay.
So there you go. As long as one of the 2 creatures is a brooding saurian, you're
Like-
set.
This card feels so bad, but I can't escape the feeling that this time, next year, it'll be banned in Modern.
Like,
Right?
yeah.
After
I
badly
really,
warping the meat.
really don't think
the
it
meta.
will be. I really don't think it will be.
I
but-
was over the moon when
Maybe.
Insult Artifact actually won a Pro Tour. And I was very excited when
Harmless Offering.
Harmless Offering actually got a standard deck that was actually winning
That was actually pretty sweet.
some
Yeah.
games. But I am very dubious of
Yeah.
Dubious Challenge.
Yeah, like Harmless Offering, I was like, this is weird, but whatever. This just seems not good. And even the pros I follow on Twitter who've linked this card today are like, what?
Yeah.
It's like, what? This card doesn't do anything.
I think
It's taking up a rare slot, which is just such a feel bad when you open that card.
I think that this card shines. The only place that it can shine is in a commander game or a multiplayer. It has to be a multiplayer game.
Probably, yeah.
Where you can be like, all right, look, I'm gonna go looking for some cards. These are the 2. You get this one. I'll get the other one, and then we'll both attack
This
so-and-so.
guy, yeah.
2-headed giant? No, because it's opponent.
Yep.
So it doesn't work in 2-headed giant. So yeah, it's got to be some sort of politics. I don't know, man.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't have faith. I think I like the top comment on Reddit for this card. I think was, well, this is going to be my pre-release promo.
I liked the actually the top comment that wasn't just explaining what the card does was a scene from an episode of A Bit of Fry and Laurie.
Oh yeah, with the pistol
With
and
the duel,
with
yeah,
the
it's
duel,
like,
yeah.
sword or pistols. Well, I think we'll, sword's an elegant weapon. Yes, indeed. Okay, great. You pick the sword. That means this guy gets the pistol. Wait, what?
I saw that was pretty impressive. All right, let's talk about a good card. Graham.
Yeah, let's talk about the gearhulks.
All right.
Which I want to talk about mostly because in Spanish, I believe, they're called Mecha Titans.
Ooh, which is pretty sweet.
Yeah.
All I wanted to say. Okay, the green one. The green one is an 8/8 with trample for 5.
That seems good.
In its worst case, it's an 8/8 with trample for 5.
What's it called?
Or if you win.
The Verdurous Gearhulk. It's a 4/4 with trample. But when it enters the battlefield, you can put 4+1/+1 counters on any. You can spread those out however you want across any number of creatures. So you can buff your team up, or you can just put them all on this guy, and he's an 8/8 with trample for 5.
Seems really good.
That's really, really good.
I mean, that seems appropriately mythic.
Yeah, because the thing is, The other cards, the other gearhulks, we haven't seen the red one yet, but the rest of the cycle do sort of, frankly, more interesting stuff. But green,
Yeah, there's something to be said for being direct.
yeah, what do you do with, like, well, green's thing is, big and powerful and green and stompy and stuff. What do you do with that? Well, let's make it very big.
Yeah.
So fair enough.
All right.
The black one, the Noxious Gearhulk, is a 5/4 for 4 black. This one's 6 mana. It has Menace, which is nice. And when it enters the battlefield, you may destroy another target creature. If a creature is destroyed this way, you gain life equal to its toughness.
Have I seen?
They reprinted Necrotol.
I was going to say.
Better.
I feel like I've seen Necrohulk thrown around.
I think I prefer
Yeah.
Mechrotol.
Mecrotol?
Mechrotol is also quite good. Yeah, I think I've seen either or.
The white one, because I want to do blue last. The white one is the Cataclysmic Gearhulk.
Sundering Gearhulk.
Yeah, 3 white for a 4/5. It has Vigilance, and when it enters the battlefield,
It's apparently not in English yet.
no. When it enters the battlefield, each player chooses from among the non-land permanents he or she controls an artifact, a creature, an enchantment, and a planeswalker, and sacrifices the rest.
Symmetrical effects are always fair.
Always fair. What was
Always
the,
fair. Always fair.
It was the one with young Gideon going, no!
From
Origins?
Tragic Arrogance.
That's the one.
Yeah.
That's what this does.
Yeah.
Right? You pick, so you get an artifact, a creature, an enchantment, and a planeswalker, and sacrifice the rest.
Yep.
Now, notably, this Titan is an artifact and a creature, so you can keep this as your artifact, and then something else as your
yeah.
creature. So this is, symmetrical effects are always fair.
And what's the blue one?
The blue one's really nutty, actually. Torrential Gearhulk is a 5/6 for 4 blue with flash,
Okay.
which is already very good.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
surprise 5/6.
Yeah.
When it enters the battlefield, you can cast an instant from your graveyard without paying its mana cost. So you get free flashback on an instant.
Yeah.
So it's a Snapcaster.
Yeah.
But a Hulk.
Yeah. Snap Hulk.
Snapcaster Gearhulk.
Man, these
this
nicknames are
seems
just
awesome.
writing themselves. This episode should be out in no time.
This is, I believe, these guys are the first reveal of colored artifacts in this set. too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they might be the only ones. They're the only ones that we have seen.
Torrential Gearhulk. Sploosh.
But yeah, they are actually the only colored artifacts that we've seen, and they might be the only ones. I mean, in Theros there was God's End, and
all the weapons.
although there was all the weapons, but there was in that I guess it was all the weapons. I guess there was more than that, but no, it was just the weapons, wasn't it?
I don't
I really
know.
don't remember.
Was God's End a white artifact?
Yeah, it was.
Okay. That follows.
Yeah. Huh. Anyway, that might just be that because they're mythic, so they can get fancy with them. And then I don't know if there's anything else we want to talk about. We could touch on vehicles briefly.
The other one that I wanted to talk about as being an odd card that I don't know how to evaluate is Metallurgic Summonings,
Yeah.
which is 3 blue for an enchantment, and it reads, whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, create an XX colorless construct artifact creature token, where X is that spell's converted mana cost. And then it has an activated ability for 3 blue, and exiling Metallurgic Summoning, return all instant and sorcery cards from your graveyard to your hand. So obviously non-bow with Torrential Gearhulk.
Right.
Yeah. Still pretty cool.
Yeah, no, this is like totally sweet, and I will play with this, and I will lose, and then I will play against it and get my ass kicked. And be like, I don't know what I did wrong. And the other person will be like, oh, I don't know, I just built around it.
I don't know what to do.
But it's sweet. It has Tezzeret on it. I mean, you have the dream play where you play this, and then you hold up Force of Will, right? And then you get a 5/5, and you get them. Ha ha. But yeah, mythic blue enchantments for this much mana are supposed to do nothing, right?
I mean, this doesn't do anything. This does nothing.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Until you cast a spell.
Yeah. This feels a lot to me
Well,
like.
I mean, for 10, it brings all your instants and sorceries back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This to me feels a bit like Myth Realized.
I feel like it's better than Myth Realized. But I could be wrong. I often am. It's a weird card.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see how it goes.
I just want those tokens as well.
Oh, the tokens of that creature?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to be pretty sweet.
That's going to exist.
It's now, Cam. I'm very curious to know your feelings on the storm card.
Oh, yeah. The one where whenever you cast, I think you need to get up to 10. No, it's 8 spells cast in a turn will get you 50 life.
Yep.
I haven't done the math on it. But yeah, this is a
Well, it's
colorless.
linear, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this is a colorless way of dealing damage.
So
Right? So,
let's read this real quick. It's Aetherflux Reservoir. 4 mana artifact. Whenever you cast a spell, you gain 1 life for each spell you've cast this turn. So you cast a spell, you get 1 life. You cast another one, you get 2. And then 3, and then 4, and then 5. And so that's 1, 2, 3, 6,
6,
10,
10,
15.
15.
It goes up every
Yeah.
time. So
21, 28, 37. No, sorry, 35. No, 36.
This is why I don't do math on camera.
This is why our profs told us
15.
always to
I'm
use a
21.
calculator.
I'm pretty sure you have to do
20.
It's 8 spells. I think you were right.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3. So 6, 10, 15, 21, 28, 36,
At which point you're at 50.
40, 45.
well, assuming
50.
you haven't been hurt.
Yeah,
55.
but
yeah.
yeah.
Anyway, then you pay 50 life, and Aetherflux Reservoir deals 50 damage to target player or creature.
I do like the
if
fact
you
that you
just really need to kill something and not win the game.
I really, really want to be in a position where somehow I'm at 51 life, and there is something on the board that I have to kill that could theoretically either win me the game or keep me alive, but doing 50 damage to my opponent wouldn't win me the game.
Yeah.
Right?
Like if they're at like 100 or
They're at they're at like 51. I'm
Okay.
at 51, and they're going to attack for 51 next turn with their 51-51. So I have
would
to,
have to be a 50-50,
sorry,
yeah.
50-50. I don't know how this works.
Like,
I just
see,
think that's hilarious.
The,
that it
the
can do it with
situation I
creatures.
could see happening is if they have like a ley line of tranquility in modern, and I'm on storm, and
Is
I
this
need to
card
blow
actually
away
gonna get
their
played,
core
though?
Firewalker or
wanna
something
do
to
the,
swing in with some alternate plan.
I want to use my commander deck that has like the Loxodon Warhammer and the what's the enchantment? The 1 white green enchantment that has lifelink, but it's not lifelink. It's a triggered ability.
Oh!
So you get double the
Armadillo
life.
Cloak.
Armadillo,
That's the
yeah.
one. So you get Armadillo Cloak and the Loxodon Warhammer. So I'm just gaining life and gaining life.
Just a white-green life gain deck with this.
So you get it for like 170
Johnny
or something.
and,
Then you just play the reservoir and go
yeah.
just like pay 3 times for the other 3 players.
Yeah, like if it was,
This card's so stupid.
yeah,
I love it, but it's so stupid.
This doesn't get around the problem that you want this to solve in Storm, which is your opponent has some way of giving themselves hexproof.
Right.
Yeah. Don't play this card, kids. At least not in limited.
No.
Yeah.
Never,
No.
ever take this card.
This
in
gains
limited.
you like 3 life.
yeah,
right?
Yeah, basically, if you're lucky,
it's
bad.
It's colorless healing salve.
No, just stop.
That card was exactly as good as Lightning Bolt and Giant Growth and Ancestral.
Yeah, I think we've seen enough cards in this set that we know that there's not value in simply just having random artifacts around. So
Like, yeah, what we've seen so far has been like deep synergy.
yeah. So certainly in limited, not good. Probably not standard.
I can absolutely see why the developers were saying that this is the best set they've developed in a long time.
I would love for this to work in standard though. Can you imagine?
Maybe.
Just like life
It'd
totals
be-
up and up and up, and
It'd be
then
pretty silly.
just play it and pay it.
Yeah.
But like killing somebody when you get to storm count 8 is not actually like that compares fairly favorably to other storm kill
Yeah, well, like
packages, right?
tendrils can frequently kill at 8.
Yeah.
Right.
So like that's not actually that bad. I mean, the fact that you have to have it out on the board already
Yeah,
makes
and
it way more vulnerable, but
Yeah.
still.
Yeah, and also this is not as good if you play it in the middle of a storm
Yeah.
turn, right? If you're
Yeah,
like,
you
oh,
need to-
Druid, on like my 5th card.
Yeah,
Storm
and then you
Canvas
can-
now 6. Now I start ticking
Now,
life off.
yeah.
But
now
on the
it's
other
against
hand,
life.
if your storm fucks up for some reason, you still have 50 life, which
Yeah.
is not terrible.
Is there? There's no storm card that gains life, is there?
I don't think so.
Well, doesn't Tendrils gain you life?
Oh, well, yeah.
Oh,
of
yeah.
course it does.
Right.
Duh. It's just kind of incidental to the fact that it also kills
It kills
the
your
other player.
opponent, yeah.
But the nice thing about this is this gains you life even if they stop the actual payload
so
from
this
going
is like
off.
if you're playing Storm in Commander, then this kills players like this kills player 2.
Sure.
Right, but this
Right.
doesn't. This. How is Storm worded? You don't. Storm just makes copies, right? You don't.
Yeah.
You don't cast.
No,
It's just a copy of it.
Okay, that would be nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, like Storm, you can't you can't actually counter the effect that this is going to do.
Yeah.
So that's nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's very odd.
Yeah. Ignoring the Aetherflux reservoir and the
You
Dubious
said you
challenge.
wanted Storm. This is it.
Ignoring those cards, Kaladesh is looking really cool, and I'm excited. And I'm sure we'll talk more about it next week. We'll get into like vehicles and the other mechanics. What are the other mechanics?
Well, there's crew. There's
Crew is
fabricate.
sort of from vehicles.
Well, isn't? I mean, that's just like
There's energy.
energy.
I guess we talked about most of it.
Yeah.
Well, we'll go deeper on that next time. But anyway, until then, that is it for Tap Tap Concede today. Thank you so much for listening. As always, it's brought to you by you and your kind support of our Patreon at patreon.com/loadingreadyrun. Thank you so much for letting us keep doing what it is that we do, and we will talk to you next time.
But first, we should talk about the pre-release.
Oh yeah, right.
Oh, right, yes.
Thanks, James. Sorry. Yes, the Kaladesh pre-release. We are doing another one. It is going to be Sunday, September 18th. It is on Sunday, because Wizards is doing an Extra Life stream on the Saturday.
Yep.
So you should check out Extra Life on twitch.tv/magic on the Saturday. And then on Sunday, twitch.tv/loadingreadyrun for the Kaladesh pre-release, which we're super excited about. From Loading Ready Run, it's going to be myself and Kathleen and Cameron and Adam.
Yep.
Pardon me. And special guests this time is Adam Staborski, the Stibs, from TCG Player and does Wizards coverage and
he made the
known
Pauper
for
and the Pauper Cube.
the Pauper
that we
Cube list.
drafted. Yep.
And Megan and Maria from Magic the Amateuring. We're very excited to have them here. They're very excited to be here as well, so looking forward to that. And someone from Wizards of the Coast that
We'll figure it out.
they haven't told us who's coming yet. So there we go. Looking forward to finding out who that is. So
Billy from the mailroom.
So yeah, Bob from accounting. Noon Pacific time, Sunday, September 18th. Tune in for pre-release Kaladesh action. It'll be great.
I agree.
All right, now we're going away.
Okay,
Yeah.
bye.
Goodbye now.